Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today we are diving deep into the world of rare and valuable Lincoln wheat pennies. These small copper coins may seem ordinary, but some of them can be worth thousands and even up to $1 million in today's market. That's right. 1 cent could change your life if you have the right one in your hands. So buckle up as we explore the top 6 most valuable Lincoln wheat penny coins that could be sitting quietly in your coin jar or tucked away in a family album. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn more about coin values and what to look out for. Now let us get started diving into the fascinating world of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny, one of the most common yet surprisingly valuable coins in American history. So sit back, relax, and make sure to hit that like button because you do not want to miss what makes this humble 1 cent coin potentially worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. First, let's talk about what this coin actually is. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is a copper coin minted in the United States as part of the iconic Lincoln Cent series designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been around since 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. The obverse of the coin shows a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the words "In God We Trust" at the top, liberty to the left, and the date 1941 on the right. The reverse features 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above it you will see the phrase "E pluribus unum." Now here is where things get really interesting. 1941 was not a rare year for production. In fact, over 1 billion Lincoln wheat pennies were minted in total. That includes coins from the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. To break it down further, Philadelphia minted over 887 million coins with no mint mark. Denver minted over 128 million coins with a small d under the date. San Francisco minted over 92 million coins with an S under the date. So with so many coins made, you might ask, why would a 1941 penny be worth more than just 1 cent? And the answer is condition, rarity, mint errors, and collector demand. Let me explain. First is condition. If your 1941 penny has never been in circulation and has no scratches or marks, it might be considered uncirculated or even mint state. These coins can fetch significantly higher prices, especially if professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGCA. 1941 penny in average circulated condition is worth about 10 to 50 cents, but if it is in mint state condition it can be worth $5 to $10. Now if you have a coin graded MS65 or higher, then you're talking about real value. These coins can sell for $50 to over $100 at auction. Some pristine examples have even fetched over $500, but the real money comes with rare mint errors and varieties. Certain 1941 pennies have doubling on the date or lettering known as a double die error. If you find one of those, the value can skyrocket into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. There are also off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and even coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. All of these can bring serious money to collectors. Another factor is the presence of lamination errors, where parts of the coin's metal surface peel or flake. This was due to impurities in the metal during the minting process and can add to a coin's rarity and value. Now let's talk about current market value in 2025. As of today, collectors are actively looking for high-quality 1941 pennies, and especially those with rare errors. Uncirculated examples with strong eye appeal are selling on eBay and auction sites for $20 to $75, sometimes even more. Coins with confirmed doubling or repunched mint marks are often listed in the $200 to $1,000 range depending on clarity and grade. A perfect MS68 red 1941 Lincoln penny sold for over $10,000 in recent years and continues to gain value as more collectors enter the hobby. So what does this mean for you? It means check your change, check those old jars and inherited collections. You never know when you might stumble on a small copper coin that could be worth a fortune. If you think you have a special coin, get it appraised or submit it to a professional grading service. It could be one of the best decisions you ever make. So to sum it up, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny may be small, but it carries a big story. With over 1 billion minted, it's not rare by quantity, but condition, errors, and history make certain examples extremely valuable. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced coin hunter, the 1941 penny is one to watch. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting and numismatics, and today we have a truly interesting piece of American history to talk about: the 1945 Abraham Lincoln 1 cent wheat penny. This iconic coin might just be sitting in your pocket change or tucked away in an old drawer, and you may not realize how much it could be worth. So stay tuned as we explore the history, the hidden details, and the current market value of this vintage coin that could be worth far more than just 1 cent. First, let us talk about the history of the Lincoln wheat penny. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first minted in the year 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real person, and it replaced the Indian head cent. The obverse or front of the coin features a right-facing profile of President Abraham Lincoln, and the reverse or back of the coin originally featured 2 wheat stalks, flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America, which is why collectors commonly refer to it as the wheat penny. Now let us focus on the 1945 wheat penny specifically. This penny was struck during the final year of World War II, and like other wartime coins it has some unique characteristics. It was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, which had no mint mark; Denver, which used a small d; and San Francisco, which used a small s. The 1945 Lincoln cent was made primarily of copper with a small amount of tin and zinc, unlike the 1943 steel cent, which was made out of steel to conserve copper for the war effort. The 1945 penny returned to the original bronze composition. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia mint struck over 1 billion of these coins, making it a very common coin in circulation. The Denver mint produced more than 266 million, and the San Francisco mint produced about 181 million. That makes the 1945 penny one of the most widely produced coins in U.S. history. However, that does not mean that all of them are worthless. In fact, condition, mint errors, and rarity can turn an ordinary-looking penny into a valuable treasure. So how much is a 1945 wheat penny worth today? Well, that depends on a few key factors. Let us start with circulated coins, which are the most common. If your 1945 penny is in average condition and shows signs of wear from being used over the years, it is generally worth around 1 to 5 cents. However, if the coin is in better condition, such as very fine or extremely fine, you might be able to sell it for 10 to 20 cents. Now, if your coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it was never used and still has its original luster, it could be worth between $1 and $5 or more depending on the grade. But here is where things get really interesting. Rare varieties and mint errors can fetch much higher prices. Some 1945 pennies have doubling in the lettering or date, which is known as a double die error. Others may be off-center, misstruck, or have clipped planchets, which are all examples of minting errors. These error coins can sell for anywhere from $10 to hundreds of dollars depending on the rarity and demand. One well-known error is the 1945 D penny with a repunched mint mark. These can sometimes be worth over $50 if in good condition. Even more valuable are coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. If a 1945 penny is graded as mint state 65 or higher with a red designation, which means it still has its original red copper color, it can be worth over $100 or even several $100s, especially for coins with perfect strikes and strong eye appeal. Collectors are always on the lookout for these premium coins, and they are willing to pay top dollar for the best examples. Let us also take a quick look at recent market trends. In the last few years, coin collecting has become more popular with both hobbyists and investors as a way to preserve wealth and collect history. Some online auction results have shown 1945 wheat pennies selling for over $1,000 if they are in pristine condition with rare characteristics. These are not everyday finds, but they do exist and they can make a big difference in your collection or wallet. So what should you do if you have a 1945 wheat penny? First, check the mint mark below the date. If it is a plain 1945, it is from Philadelphia. If it has a small d or s, it is from Denver or San Francisco. Then examine the condition of the coin. Look at the details on Lincoln's face and jacket. Check for any mint errors or unusual marks and consider weighing the coin if it feels different. A genuine 1945 penny should weigh about 3.1 grams. If your coin looks special or is in great condition, consider getting it appraised or graded professionally. It could be worth more than you think, and even if it is not worth hundreds of dollars, it is still a piece of history, minted during a time when the world was at war and America was changing rapidly. Before we wrap up, here is a fun fact. The wheat penny design was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That means the 1945 penny is part of the classic wheat penny series, which ended in 1958, and that makes it even more collectible. So there you have it, folks. The 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny may not seem like much at first glance, but with the right condition, mint mark, or error, it could be worth far more than $1 cent. Keep an eye out, check your change, and you might just discover a hidden treasure. We are diving deep into the world of one of the most iconic and historic coins in American numismatics, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Abraham Lincoln 1 cent wheat reverse coin. This small copper coin might look like just pocket change to some, but to others it's a valuable treasure with a rich history and an impressive market value in the world of coin collecting. So if you have a jar full of pennies at home, or Maybe you came across a 1950 wheat penny in your change. Keep watching. Because this tiny coin could be worth more than you think, and today we are going to uncover exactly why. Let's begin with the origins of the Lincoln wheat penny. The very first Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first United States coin to feature a real person, and that person was none other than our 16th President Abraham Lincoln. His profile was placed on the obverse side of the coin with the now famous wheat ears design. On the reverse side, which symbolizes prosperity and abundance, this design remained in place from 1909 until 1958, and these coins are now commonly referred to as wheat pennies. The 1950 version we're discussing today sits right in the middle of that production period, making it a well-known yet highly collectible piece. Depending on the mint mark condition and any unique features, this coin can be worth far more than 1 cent. In 1950, the United States Mint produced wheat pennies at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while coins from Denver have a small D under the date, and coins from San Francisco have an SNO. Let's talk mintage numbers and rarity. In 1950, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 272 million pennies, Denver produced about 335 million, and San Francisco only about 118 million. As you can guess, the lower mintage from San Francisco makes the 1950s Lincoln penny slightly more valuable, especially in high grades or uncirculated condition. But what truly makes a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny valuable is not just its age or mint location, but its condition and rarity. Certain coins with errors, or those that have been preserved in pristine condition, can command big bucks in the collector's market. For example, if you find a 1950 penny in average circulated condition, it might only be worth a few cents to $1. However, if that same coin is in uncirculated condition or graded MS65 or higher, it could be worth anywhere from $5 to $25, and that's just the start. Now let's go deeper and look at some of the rarest and most valuable versions of the 1950 wheat penny. One such variety is the 1950 D/S mint mark. This is a repunched mint mark error where a Denver mint mark was stamped over a San Francisco mint mark. This error occurred when mint workers reused a die and punched the wrong mint letter before correcting it with the correct one. Such an error makes the coin more unique and significantly boosts its value. Collectors are always on the lookout for mint mark errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and other die variations. In some cases, a rare 1950 D/S penny in high grade can be worth over $100 or more depending on the condition. Let's now talk about grading, as this plays a huge role in determining a coin's market value. Grading refers to the process of evaluating a coin's physical condition, with the highest grades being uncirculated or mint state, typically graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by major services like PCGS or NGC. A 1950 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS67 red could be worth hundreds of dollars, even up to $1,000 or more at auction if it has brilliant luster and no visible marks. The color of the penny also matters. Collectors classify pennies as red, brown, or brown based on the amount of original copper color. Remaining red pennies, which are the brightest and most lustrous, are generally more desirable and valuable than red, brown, or brown examples. So if you happen to have a 1950 penny that is bright red and mint state, you may want to have it professionally graded, because it could be worth far more than face value. Now let's talk about the market trends. In recent years, the coin collecting hobby has gained renewed interest, and many collectors, both old and new, are seeking out classic American coins like the wheat penny. The 1950 Lincoln set remains a key piece for collectors who are trying to build complete date and mint mark sets, which keeps demand steady. Online auctions and coin shows frequently feature 1950 wheat pennies in high grade, and some of the highest recorded sales for this date have exceeded $1,500 for exceptional MS67 red examples with top-tier eye appeal and no visible imperfections. So to recap, if you find a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, check the mint mark, examine its condition, look for any unusual errors, and determine if it has its original copper red color. Even if it seems like a common coin, the right combination of factors could turn it into a valuable collectible. In summary, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is a piece of American history. It celebrates one of our greatest presidents, and it's a reminder that even small everyday coins can hold hidden treasures. It may be copper in color, but it could be gold in value if you know what to look for. So check your change, check your old coin jars, and check your family's collections. You never know what treasure you might uncover. And remember, numismatics isn't just about money, it's about the stories behind each coin, the craftsmanship, the history, and the legacy of our past. We explore the fascinating world of coins, currency and collectibles, and today we are diving deep into the history and value of one of the most iconic American coins of the mid-20th century, the 1951 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, also known as the Lincoln Cent. This coin features the beloved image of President Abraham Lincoln and carries a small D mint mark beneath the date representing its origin from the Denver Mint. Now, before we explore how much this coin could be worth today, let us first go back to its historical context. The Lincoln Cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and was the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real person. The wheat penny design, used from 1909 until 1958, was created by Victor David Brenner and includes Lincoln on the obverse side, while the reverse side features two stylized wheat ears, symbolizing national prosperity. Now fast forward to 1951, a post-World War II America was booming and coins like the Lincoln Cent were still being struck in large quantities. In that year alone, the Denver Mint produced over 625 million wheat pennies with the D Mint mark, and while most of them were used in everyday transactions, a small percentage survived in excellent condition or even in mint state, which is why collectors seek them today. So how much is your 1951 D Lincoln Wheat Penny worth? Well, its value depends on its condition, color and rarity. A typical circulated 1951 D penny might fetch between 5 and 25 cents. Not bad for a coin with a face value of 1 cent, but wait, if your penny is in uncirculated condition, or better yet a high mint state with original red luster, its value can rise dramatically. Coins graded MS65 red can sell for $15 to $30 or even more, and if your coin is in MS67 condition with full red color and virtually no marks or blemishes, you could be looking at a coin worth over $150. And yes, there have been auction sales of top-graded examples reaching even higher amounts due to collector demand. Now let us talk about errors and varieties, because this is where things get really interesting. Certain 1951 D wheat pennies were struck with mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes or clipped planchets, and depending on the severity and rarity of the error, these coins can be worth anywhere from $50 to several hundred or even over $1,000. In rare cases, collectors and dealers alike keep a close eye out for such anomalies, so if you have a 1951 D penny, check it closely under a magnifying glass or have it evaluated by a reputable coin grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Also remember that coin values fluctuate with the market, collector interest and metal prices, and while copper cents no longer circulate for their metal content, the collectability of wheat pennies keeps their market alive, strong and exciting today. As of this year, the 1951 D wheat penny remains a common but desirable coin for beginners and seasoned collectors alike. Its affordability and charm make it a perfect coin to start or expand a Lincoln Cent collection. So whether you find one in your change in an old coin jar or at a garage sale, take a moment to examine it. Who knows, you might just have a little piece of American history worth far more than its face value. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss another episode about coins that could be hiding valuable treasures in plain sight. See you next time, and happy collecting. We uncover the hidden treasures right in your pocket. Today we're diving into one of the most iconic and commonly overlooked coins in modern American history, the 2000 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might have dozens of these lying around in jars, drawers, or under your couch cushions. But did you know that some of them could be worth a fortune? Let's get right into it. First off, let's take a quick look at the history behind this little copper beauty. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person. Over the years, it's seen several design changes, but from 1959 through 2008, the reverse side featured the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The obverse, or front side, has always featured that famous profile of Honest Abe. Now let's zoom into the year 2000. What makes this specific year stand out? Well, the 2000 Lincoln penny was minted at two main facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. You can spot the Denver mint by the little D mint mark under the date. If there's no mint mark, then it was made in Philadelphia. Sounds simple, right? But here's where it gets exciting. In 2000, billions of these pennies were produced. That might make you think they're all worthless. But rare coins aren't just about how many were made, it's about how many survived in perfect condition, and more importantly, how many have special errors or variations. So let's talk about errors. This is where things get interesting and valuable. Some 2000 Lincoln pennies were struck with off-center errors, which means the image wasn't aligned correctly on the coin. Others had die cracks, which can cause odd raised lines on the coin surface. Then there are double die pennies, where the design appears to be doubled, especially on the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." These errors can hugely increase the coin's value. Here's a real example. A 2000 penny with an extreme off-center strike and in mint condition was sold for over $600. A double die penny in uncirculated condition. That can go for $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the clarity of the doubling. And then there are coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. If your penny is graded as MS68 or higher, which means near perfect condition with no scratches or discoloration, you're looking at serious money. Some of these coins have fetched prices of over $5,000 at auction. So now you're wondering, how can I tell if my 2000 penny is worth anything? Here's a quick checklist. 1. Look at the coin under good lighting and a magnifying glass. 2. Check the lettering for signs of doubling, especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. 3. Flip the coin over and look for odd patterns or off-center images on the Lincoln Memorial side. 4. Examine the edges for any signs of misalignment or raised lines. 5. If your coin looks suspiciously different or flawless, consider getting it professionally graded. Now let's touch on the current market value in 2025. As of now, common 2000 pennies in circulated condition are worth 1 cent. But in uncirculated or near mint condition they can sell for between $1 and $20 depending on luster and quality. Error coins are in high demand, with prices ranging from $50 to several $1,000s depending on the type and severity of the error. The coin market is very much alive right now. Collectors are constantly searching for high-grade examples and unique errors. Even if you don't find a $1,000 penny, you might still find one worth $50 or $100, and that's not bad for something most people ignore. Let's wrap this up. Before you toss that jar of pennies into the coin machine, take a moment and check for those hidden gems. The 2000 Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but with the right error or condition it could be your ticket to some extra cash. We're diving deep into the small yet mighty 2001 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might have a few of these lying around in a jar, in your drawers, or even in your pocket. But did you know that some of these coins could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent? In this video, we're going to explore the history of the 2001 Lincoln penny, what makes it valuable, how to spot rare errors, and how much it's worth on today's market. So stay tuned until the end. You might just be sitting on a small fortune. History of the 2001 Lincoln penny. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln 1-cent coin has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features the familiar profile of Lincoln, a design that has remained largely unchanged for over a century. In the year 2001, the United States Mint continued to produce the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959. This version shows the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, with tiny details including even a small image of Lincoln seated in the memorial if you look closely. The 2001 penny was produced at two main locations, the Philadelphia Mint, which bears no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which features a small d below the date. In total, billions of 2001 Lincoln pennies were minted, so most of them are not rare. However, as you'll see, a few unique specimens can be incredibly valuable. How many were made? Let's talk numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 6.6 billion 2001 pennies. The Denver Mint created about 5.5 billion. With those kinds of numbers, it's easy to think that none of these coins would be worth anything more than face value. But remember, when it comes to coins, rarity is just one part of the equation. Condition, mint errors, and special varieties can dramatically increase value. Valuable error coins to look for. Now let's get into the exciting stuff, errors. These are the coins that collectors and dealers are always on the lookout for. Mistakes at the mint can make a coin go from pocket change to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some of the most valuable 2001 Lincoln penny errors include the following. 1. Double die obverse. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a misaligned die, creating a doubling effect on the date or the lettering. Look at the words, Liberty, or, In God We Trust. If they appear to have a shadow or duplicated image, you might have a double die error. These can sell for $50 to several $100s depending on condition. 2. Off-center strikes. If a coin was not properly centered when struck, part of the design may be missing. A slight off-center strike might not be worth much, but a coin that's 40 to 60% off-center and still shows the full date could be worth from $25 to $100 or more. Point 3. Clipped planchet. A clipped planchet error occurs when the blank metal disc that becomes the penny is accidentally cut in a way that leaves part of the coin missing. These types of errors are very popular with collectors and can bring anywhere from $10 to $50 or more. Point 4. Broad strike error. This error occurs when the retaining collar that holds the coin in place during striking malfunctions or is missing. This causes the coin to spread out and appear wider than usual. Broad strike 2001 pennies in good condition can be worth up to $100 or more. Point 5. Die cracks or cuds. These happen when the die itself starts to break down and creates raised lines or blobs on the coin. While these are usually minor, if they're prominent, collectors may pay extra. High-grade 2001 pennies. Even without errors, a regular 2001 penny can be valuable if it's in pristine condition. Coins that have never been circulated and were preserved carefully may receive high grades like MS-67 or MS-68. These are known as mint state coins and are evaluated by professional grading services. A 2001 Lincoln penny graded MS-68 red by PCGS or NGC, red referring to its original copper shine, can sell for anywhere between $100 to $200 or even more, especially if demand is high. How to tell if yours is valuable? So how do you know if your 2001 penny is worth anything? First, examine it closely under a magnifying glass or microscope. Look at the details, check for doubling, off-center designs, strange marks, or planchet errors. Next, consider the condition. The fewer scratches or dings, the better. If it still has that bright red luster, it's even more promising. You can also compare your coin with verified images from professional grading sites or auction listings. And if you really suspect you have something special, consider submitting it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. Current market value. Now let's talk about the current market. As of 2025, most circulated 2001 pennies are still worth 1 cent. But coins with errors, rare varieties, or high grades can fetch serious cash. Common MS-65 red pennies sell for $5 to $15. MS-67 red pennies can reach $50 to $100. MS-68 examples have sold for over $200. Major error coins like double dies or off-center strikes have sold for as much as $500 or more at auction. And remember, coin values can fluctuate based on collector interest and metal prices, so it always pays to stay updated. Here's a quick fun fact to end on. While pennies are often overlooked, they're one of the most collected coins in the United States. Their long history and variety of designs make them a favorite among both beginners and expert numismatists. So there you have it, the story of the 2001 Lincoln penny. While most are common, a few rare gems out there are worth searching for. If you're lucky enough to find one with an error or in top-grade condition, you could be holding a coin worth far more than 1 cent. Let me know in the comments if you found any interesting Lincoln pennies in your collection. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!